G'day guys, welcome back to the movie pod. Today we are reviewing the new episode of The Last of Us. What episode? Episode 7. Wow, we're nearly done. 2 episodes to
Yeah,
go.
we've only got 2 episodes left.
That's crazy. But today's episode, good length as always. Oh, nearly an hour. Okay,
55 minutes.
yeah, it was 58 minutes. But oh my god. I was at the 40-minute mark and it felt like I'd be watching for 2 hours. I'm sorry, but that episode was the worst episode of The Last of Us. I'm just gonna straight out say it, I didn't enjoy it.
Ooh.
I didn't enjoy it, man. It was very slow. It was confusing for me. And if you know me, I don't like slow stuff. That's why I didn't like Andor. It was very slow. I don't like slow stuff. I like action. Stuff happening in front of my face. I don't want to watch two girls play in an arcade thing when I could just go on YouTube and watch some guy play an arcade machine. I didn't like that episode. It was definitely my least favorite episode, and it went on forever and ever and ever. I don't want to hate too hard on it, and I've absolutely loved it. But that episode then was it went for so long. And it was not only quite boring for me, it didn't make sense until Joseph explained it to me just before we started recording. At the start, Joel and Ellie are together. Ellie is, freaking out. Joel seems like he's about to die. And then it cuts to Ellie running, and then we have a whole episode of Ellie and her best friend and them going on, a fun time. To me, I'm like, what? Has this been a year jump? Has it been 3 months later, 6 months later? Because Ellie doesn't seem fazed that Joel's dead. And then at the end, we go back to Joel and Ellie. And still then, I didn't know what was going on. Joel's obviously not dead. Ellie stitched him all up. But I didn't realize until Joseph told me that was a flashback to before Ellie even met Joel. But they could have done that better. For casual fans like me, I did not know. Maybe when they said Marlene, it did kind of click. I'm like, oh, I've heard that name, but it didn't fully click. I'm like, oh, I've heard that name, but it didn't make sense to me. I didn't like that episode.
Yeah, no, if you can ignore his Isaac's stupidity, if you can ignore Isaac's,
I couldn't realize
not
that.
understanding it.
I think for casual fans, that's hard to understand. They didn't say, they could have said, I don't know, 6, or how many years earlier, whatever, I don't know. They could have done that, because it just, it looked like, when they did that transition, it looked like it was jumping forward. It did not, in my mind, I did not get the thought of, it's jumped back, at all. Not at all. Until you told me.
Yeah, I understand it, it was kind of, it was a little bit jaded, it was a little bit straight to it.
Yeah, I didn't like that.
It didn't.
It was shot very well. Obviously, it was done well. Like Andor, it was very slow, and I don't like slow stuff. And now I'm gonna say it now at the start of the episode because I've already got quite a bit of hate about it on Twitter for some reason because Twitter is Twitter. I'm about to delete my account. I tweeted on Twitter. Every time I watch a TV show episode, I tweet if I liked it or not, and then hashtag whatever show I watch. So, for example, I tweeted, I unfortunately didn't like that episode, hashtag The Last of Us. I got around 17 replies, and they were all accusing me of being homophobic, because obviously this episode draws on Ellie being lesbian.
It teases it right
it does.
The end, yeah.
It does. And that's okay. I don't care. Episode 3 with Bill and Frank, two gay guys. I love that episode. That episode is in my top 3 favorite episodes. Just because, it's teasing Ellie may be lesbian, that's not because that's not why I didn't like it. I didn't like it because it was slow. That's why. That her being lesbian is out of the question. No, I don't care. I don't care what their sexuality is. I care about the story. And so people accusing people of that, or being homophobic because they didn't like that particular episode, need to grow up. They are so immature. I don't care. I literally do not care if you like men, if you like dogs, if you like women, if you like whatever. I don't care. I just like watching a good story. So I just need to get that out of the way because it's really frustrating to be accused of that kind of stuff, especially in nowadays society. Being accused of that can really get you cancelled, and so we have to be very careful with that and how we express. Like we talk about movies, TV shows. We have to be very careful with what we say because people can take things way out of proportion, and so I just needed to get that out of the road. I don't care that they're teasing her as a lesbian. That's great. Good for her. If it makes more people feel included, that's great. I want everyone to enjoy the show. But I didn't like it because it was slow. There's no more to it.
Yeah, I agree. I think it was slow, but I think some of the episode, it's
Don't get me wrong. There was good moments. Yeah, there was. There was interesting moments. The ending
Yeah.
was great. The ending was amazing.
yeah, it was like very heartfelt. It was very. I think what they tried to do was capture the same kind of feeling that they did with Bill and Frank. Because
Yeah.
obviously we get left on the
Yeah.
cliffhanger if you don't know it, not a cliffhanger if you do. But
Yeah.
you get left at the end where she's sitting with Riley, and they're both like just waiting to turn to die, and it's just it is very
That had me
emotional.
hella.
And it is very
That had me hella confused. That took me out of it because Ellie's infected, and we know Ellie can't get infected because of her blood, whatever. I'm like, why is she
Yeah.
freaking out? Because I didn't realize it was a flashback.
yeah. So I think what they tried to do was capture the same kind of feeling that they did with Bill and Frank, where it was
Yeah.
the love, like the affectionate.
Yeah.
You love these two characters together, but now it's just it didn't hit as hard,
No.
and it was a good episode. Again, as you said, it was a good episode. It was just it was slow, and I think it
Definitely was my least favorite
I think
episode.
that's the biggest problem was they tried to make it feel like Bill and Frank. They tried to make us.
Mm.
I don't know.
Um.
Maybe it was just because it was jaded. Maybe it was just it didn't feel right at that time.
It didn't feel right. It was very weird watching it because I'm like, is what's happened to Joel? Why is Ellie like this? Like, they
Yeah.
could have really made it a lot more clear that it was a flashback.
You should watch it back again after, and then get another opinion on it. But
I watched the start
was
again
also-
to see if they like said 6 months later or something, but it didn't, and I was still hella confused.
no, it's
But now I know.
it had its upside. But it was another character development. I think.
Yeah, that's what I was going to mention.
That it was like we had a character development in probably episode 4, I think. Introducing us with Sam, and then it was a lot of Joel and Ellie. But this episode was kind of, I think it struggled being so late into the season. So the episode is based off the DLC.
Yes, that's what my mate was saying. It's a DLC that you buy and you play that part. You get it like a flashback.
Yeah. So that's how I knew that it was a flashback. But
Yeah. Well,
so yeah, it's a flashback. You play as Ellie whilst Joel is healing, and
yeah.
I'm pretty sure it's well received, just like the rest of the game.
Yeah.
But I think it was weird positioning.
It was
so late into the season.
This episode didn't do much for anyone else except Ellie. It was like 55 minutes of character development for Ellie, and oh my god, Bella Ramsey's a great actor. Like really, really good. That I can obviously character development episodes need to be done, especially for TV shows. Movies you can be a lot more lenient with character development, but TV shows you need character development within episodes. Every show's gonna have them. And they are definitely the more slow ones, and they are the ones I don't like as much. I understand you need them, I do. I understand they need to be in there, because in the future they're gonna make you connect with the character more, they're gonna make you, feel more heart connected with the character. In the long run, character development episodes are very beneficial to the relationship you have with the show and the characters. But I'm just that guy who just wants to see crazy stuff happening all the time. That's just me. I do understand though that you need character development, and like at the moment in film and TV at school, we're writing a short story. We're doing the treatment, and we have to write the script, plan it all out, and then go film it and then edit it. And like we have to write like a whole ass movie. We write a whole treatment for a movie, but we only shoot one high tension scene from the movie. And so I understand you need character development. Like in the script I'm doing, character development is in the middle. I'm filming the bit at the end, which is like the climax. But yeah, I get you need character development. You're not gonna. The audience won't care about the characters otherwise, which then takes them away from the story, which takes them away from the show. So character development is a need, especially for long term. If the show is going to be long term.
Yeah.
And they did that very well with Ellie. Bella Ramsey did a great job. As she's been doing, she's been doing great.
Yeah. What did you think of Riley though? Like the
Yeah, I think she was fine. Obviously Ellie's best friend, she obviously would have died. Would have been cool to see that. You know, I hope we get that. Ellie realizing that she's not dying, but then her best friend just died from being infected or whatever. Like,
yeah.
they're lucky. That one of the options they had was they'll kill themselves so they don't get fully infected and
Good
go
thing they
nuts.
didn't choose that one.
Yeah, they didn't choose that one. Like, imagine if they did. Ellie would have never known. Like, or what if Last of Us show? What if Ellie and Riley killed
It's a
themselves?
pretty quick episode.
Yeah. Yeah, it is. They just die. But then, like, what happens with Joel? What happens with the rest of the story? Because
Tess might have still been alive. Joel.
yeah, do they get a vaccine?
Tommy and stay there.
Do they get a vaccine for the infection? Like, I still don't. I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know. Do they in the part 1, part 2, maybe?
Are you asking me?
I am asking you. Do you know if they get a vaccine?
I know. I'm not going to tell you.
Okay, then tell me. I can't wait to play part 2 because it's so controversial, and I want to know what it is.
It's not as bad as it used to be. Like it was when it first came out. I've probably like overhyped the controversy of it.
You didn't like it, did you?
Because
You didn't like it, eh?
I don't like what it was. I didn't play it, but I didn't like the reason I didn't play it was because I didn't like what happens.
That's like a lot of people I know. They hated it. So you think when I play it, I will when the moment happens, I'll know.
You'll know
what the controversy bit is.
Yes, I don't think you will like it.
You don't think I will?
No, I think you'll dislike it. But yeah, I bought it. It was $14 in the PS Store, and I bought it, and now I'm kind of just waiting.
Yeah.
So once season 1 ends, I'm gonna replay the whole first game, and then I'm gonna play the second game for the first time. I do know that. Again, I know the story. I know how the second game ends, at least to an extent. But I don't think you'll like it.
Really?
And I won't hear the end of it.
And none of you will, unless I love it. But
we'll see.
Yeah, I wonder because of the controversy. I wonder if they'll keep season 2 to the source material.
They will. It's not as hated as I thought it was. Like, so the script got leaked.
Really?
Like, probably about 3 or 4
2?
days. No. Sorry, the story got leaked for the second game. Like probably about 5 days before the actual game came out.
Right.
And so my friend told me. He showed me, and I'm like, "What the fudge, fudgeroonies?"
And it was real.
Yeah, and it came out to be real, and then so then The Last of Us was like, "Yeah, we're not changing anything. Like we're releasing it. Who gives a crap?" And so after that, the game did get a lot of hate, but then people kind of played it back. Like the gameplay, I know is phenomenal, but
yeah. Well, I can't wait to play both games.
Yeah. But this episode, unfortunately, it was kind of.
It was.
I think it lacked. Like the reason that we haven't liked other episodes, more so episode 4, is because it didn't give us much of anything.
No.
I feel like I don't need any more character development for Ellie. Maybe that's because I already know her more than you, for instance.
We do, but I just Yeah, I understand. I do. That's another thing I must say I don't like about The Last of Us. I don't want to dish shit on it this whole episode because it's a great show. It's been great so far. It's probably one of the best TV shows I've ever watched. But all the time jumps are really kind of frustrating. The big time jumps, especially, where I want them to fill stuff in between, but I guess it would be slow. So, what am I saying? I want them to fill in the 20 gaps between when Sarah dies and then when we pick up. I want them to fill in that. That's one thing I want.
Yeah, it would be nice.
I want Joel to have more flashbacks of Sarah. I hope we get more Sarah. I feel like I mean
She was really cool.
we can't say Joel moved past Sarah too quick because it's 20 years later after we screw him. After 20 years, you're gonna get over it a little. You're kind of gonna get over it. Obviously, you're never gonna get over your daughter dying, but after 20 years, it's not gonna affect you as much. Well, of course it will, but like you know what I'm saying. You know what I'm saying.
Yeah.
But I want to get more flashbacks. That's why episode 6 was really good. It had like the emotion in Joel was crazy. Yeah. 2 episodes
Definitely.
to go, and I
think that's the reason I was
wonder,
disappointed. After episode 6, it was such a good episode,
I
and
know.
I get why they put it in. Also, as I said, this is the DLC mission, so they're going to put it in. But it's just I feel like of no fault of the TV like of HBO because this is when it happens in the game.
Yeah.
But I feel like this is the episode. This like episode 4. It's hard. It's harder to bring to life other than playing it in a game. Like it's one of those things where playing it in the video game would have been a lot better because you're more interactive.
Yeah.
Because it is so slow. It is so like easy to just look away and get interested in something else.
Yeah.
It's just one of those episodes.
I was watching it on the bus, and I tapped my
Whereas-
screen
Yeah.
to see how long I had left. Because I'm like, oh my god. And I was 40 minutes in, so I had about 20 minutes left. And it literally felt like I'd been watching it for 2 hours. It was terrible. I wanted it to end.
Yeah.
I'm like, can this episode please be over? But I knew I had to finish it. But like that was sad thinking that, I want this episode of The Last of Us to finish. That was a shame.
Yeah.
So it's
But
definitely my least favorite episode. It wasn't bad. It just was boring. Slow.
I think that's the best way to put it.
It is. I don't want to
It
travel.
was adapt. It was an episode that's hard to adapt to live action.
Yeah.
Whereas in the game, you're a lot more interested in it because you're playing. Like you have to do things.
I will have to go rewatch episode 4 to see which I like better. I think episode 4 it was a lot more quicker.
It had a little bit more to
happened.
give.
Exactly, and then it set up episode 5. So, and episode 5 was my god.
Yeah, so I think this one just like it struggled because you couldn't. It was harder to get into it. We've seen a lot of Ellie. If it was a new character that we haven't seen, maybe it would have been different. But it's hard to judge.
Yeah.
It's hard to say why this episode just didn't feel right. Maybe it's just us. Maybe everyone's going to disagree with us.
I don't know. It depends, if people like slow stuff. They like slow episodes. I'm just not a fan. But I understand it needs to happen. It's character development episodes. At least it had something to give. It had character development of Ellie. At least it wasn't just a filler episode.
Yeah, no.
That had
they
nothing
never give us filler
towards
episodes.
it. Yeah. And so, hey, that's a W there. But the ending was cool. We got an infected, and then obviously the emotion between Ellie and Riley.
Riley, yes.
Yeah. That was nice. Portrayed very well. And I think 2 episodes left. We get Mando on Wednesday. Oh my god, 2 days. Literally in 2 days, we'll be watching The Mandalorian season 3. Pedro Pascal, bro. Good
He
on
was
him.
a bit quiet this week. Didn't get a lot of screen time this week, but that's fine. He'll be back next week with a mask on.
In the suit, in the Mando suit. we won't be seeing his face in the show for a while because he got in trouble last time he took that mask off.
Yeah.
Helmet. Yeah,
Maybe he goes to Mandalore and he's just like, I don't care.
please.
Just
Yeah,
Petrofus cow.
he's crazy, man.
Good
But
looking though. Oh, he
he
is.
is.
Have you seen like all his press conferences? He's like, why did the monkey fall out of the tree? Because it was dead.
But he's so he's so like bright and like uplifting. You know, he's always in a good mood. Always. Always. He's so like just good on him. And you know,
Well, yeah, no, of course. I'm really happy for him.
Yeah.
But what would you give this episode?
6 out of 10.
Oh, you already did.
6
Yeah.
out of 10. 6 out of 10. Not because it was bad, it just wasn't an episode for me. My personal opinion. I know somebody's going to disagree with me. I know who. I know you're going to disagree with me. Yes, I'm talking about you. You're gonna know when you listen to this. You'll know. What do you give it out of 10?
I'd give it a 7. I don't think it's that bad. I think it's.
I feel like 7's too high. 7 seems too high. It wasn't bad. It just. I think I was just
It didn't.
frustrated
It
too
didn't
much
offer
watching
enough.
it. It didn't live up. You know, I went into this episode after episode 6, like, oh my god, the was. And, you know, 6 out of 10.
Maybe that's just what it was. Maybe episode 6 was just that good that everything else is crap. And that's just what it is.
No, I
Everything that
don't
isn't
think so.
episode 6 isn't good.
I don't think so. I don't think so. It just was very slow for me. I can't do slow.
Yeah.
But hey, that's okay. Let us know, guys, what you thought of that episode of The Last of Us. Did you enjoy it? Did you not? Did you enjoy it but thought it was slow? Did you just hate it? Why? Why'd you hate it? Like, I don't think anyone should hate that episode because there's really nothing to hate unless you, despite slow episodes or whatever the reason may be. But you know, we'll see you guys tomorrow when we will be doing The Mandalorian Season 3 predictions, hopes, and theories. That episode's going to be a fun one. That episode's going to be a long one, I can imagine. Me and Joseph are going to have a lot to say. So, yeah, we'll see you guys tomorrow, and then the big day, Wednesday. And then it's Creed 3, and then, we also got Bad Batch. We got to slip that in there. Kind of forgot about that. But hey, we won't forget about Bad Batch. Yeah, March, it kicks off on Wednesday. Basically now, it kicks off from now. It's 5 episodes a week starting today. We'll be right. We did every day in January. We'll be right. We'll be right. But yeah, guys. Hope you guys are keen for it all. But yeah, we'll see you guys tomorrow. Alrighty. Peace out, guys. Have a good night. Bye-bye.
Yeah.